If you want to perform better in tournaments, let me show you what I learned in a tournament. This is a 1 hour and a half with 30-second increment game I played, and it was a beautiful game. It was a beautiful checkmate, and I learned one crucial thing and probably some other things that I will teach you now. So I played e4, and yeah, he played the Philidor. I already didn't know what to actually. Yeah. So taking the center obviously is the best move, but then he can just, I mean, do whatever he wants, and he knows the theory, and I don't. So I didn't really want to play d4 because I know he will know what to do, but I do not know what to do. So I just developed as if we are playing a normal Vienna, and maybe I can try to play a normal Vienna. I don't know. So he put out his f6 knight, after which I developed in Vienna style. And it's apparently already a draw, but I mean, I don't know. I just do not want him to know what is going on. So apparently he has to go for a Sicilian type of position or a. Don't ask me what that does except blocking both of your bishops. But he played his knight here, probably trying to play this in a kind of King's Indian style, if you know. King's Indian is with g6, bishop g7, and usually you want the e5 pawn break, move this knight to play f5, and with f5 try to block the center and pawn storm like this with your king here, but it's totally safe when the center is locked. So or the your opponent opens up the center, but then this bishop comes alive, or he blocks the center and then the pawn storm comes alive, which is just a little bit of King's Indian middle game plan. And if you like practical tips like this, subscribe for sure. I just gave very practical advice, and I don't want you to just memorize random concepts and then when you can apply them, you don't even know you can apply them. So I'm not really a fan of that type of teaching. So after night there, I just developed my other knight. I still want him to like commit to something that I know. But he plays h6, which is not too bad of a move apparently. I thought it was quite dumb, to be honest. But I mean, whatever. So here, he's giving me the center constantly, so I just took it after developing all of my pieces. The next thing to develop is my bishop, so I had to play this pawn, so I had to choose. And for sure, like if I can take the center, I will take the center. I can play this, and then he could go here, and I could play it like Vienna, except I played my knight out, and I cannot really play f4 all too comfortably. So I just took the center as a normal game. Now he plays e5. And I calculated a long way, and I thought if you take, I can take, and my knight is pretty darn good here, so I wasn't really concerned about him taking. Apparently this is a good move. I went over this move with my coach, and my coach says that I cannot do this because his knight would attack it. And I told him, like, I don't care. I will castle, take, and I have a strong center and an open rook. And the engine says I'm right. Don't tell my coach, but the engine says I'm right. He cannot take my bishop because my rook and bishop will be way too powerful. And my center, so don't tell coach. But so in this position, he tried to go for my center, and I was not scared of him taking. I didn't want to take because if he takes, with the knight. Now my bishop is under attack, so I have to take again. You could take with the pawn. Now our queens are staring at each other. If you know me for a little bit, I hate boring chess. I just want fun games. And I would prefer being in a slightly losing but exciting game than a completely slightly winning but dead game. So, probably you don't know me. I got, by the way, 45 subscribers, and I am very grateful for that. You could click on any multiple thousand, if not million view channel. Pretty sure that it would be good quality because why would it have those views? But you chose to invest your time in me, so I want to thank you like a lot. I'm very grateful. Thank you for being here. And if you watched the full 6 minutes, thank you. So I went all over all of this and I just castled because I didn't care if he took. Um, yeah, right? Yeah. So here he played c6, which is one of the fine moves. And here I calculated the sequence that if I didn't do anything, he could storm me. I had to move the bishop. He could storm me again. And now I have to um, move this pawn in order so that if my bishop gets attacked, I could move it again. So I saw his threat. I calculated. And the complete point of this is that I have to move my bishop, and if you do this, I have to move my pawn so I can move my bishop. So I move my pawn instantly, which is the best move. So I calculated and saw his strat correctly. He played bishop to e7, which is the best move, and now I went for this idea. So here is where I got the little debate with my coach. He said that that was a pretty bad move because this, and he was right in this instance. I should move my bishop back. Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's why he's my coach. Um, oh, he was right. I mean, in this instance, previously it was okay, but after this, I showed him this and he said, what about knight here? And I just said, I don't care. Just put my queen in the center. And if he takes, I'll take with the pawn, reinforcing my center, having this strong rook, having this strong light squares. And I can put all of my pawns on dark squares and totally fine. But the engine actually thinks that going back is better and that this wasn't too smart actually. Fair enough. Fair enough. So I played this. He played the best move as well, which is actually castling. After which I thought about like what can I develop. So the engine wants me to develop my rook, play h6 to probably stop his knight from coming. Break open the center, which I don't understand because I'm only putting his queen closer, his knight closer, or retrieving my bishop. Did I say retrieving? I meant retreating my bishop. Which is also quite strange. Like, why would I invest a tempo in my bishop if it's not really paying me any more activity? So I thought, I developed all of my pieces. I castled my king. The next thing to do is develop my queen. So I didn't know where to put my queen because I could have ideas with bishop here and sacrificing. I could put my queen here so that this is defended and I can rotate my knight over. Or I could put it here so that I don't know, I didn't really consider this. I was choosing between these two because you know the opening rules, right? And if you don't, I'll explain you. So you take the center first with a pawn, after which you develop your minor pieces, so your knights and bishops. Preferably first the knights and then the bishops, but I mean, if you know a little bit of theory and you know that the bishop is better, it's situational, obviously, but probably, if you don't know, take the center, develop the knights and the bishops, preferably first the knights, and castle your king. After this, the three golden rules stop. I don't understand why, because then you should develop your queen, develop your rooks, and go for a pawn break in the center. And usually, if you do all of that correctly, you're already totally winning. So especially for like everything under 1,000, 400, if you just do that, you should have already winning positions with the pawn break in the center, after which you will just have so much activity that you should infiltrate. And yeah, if you want to know more about activity and infiltration, my next video will be on that. Wait, my next video? No, my previous video. I'm a bit confused because I messed up some videos and now this tournament game is coming in while I recorded my next videos also. So I'm a bit confused with my schedule, but I'll figure it out. So my previous video was on infiltration and activity, which is a very good video. Watch that, and if you don't want to miss out on all of these concepts, subscribe for sure, because I found all of these things out the hard way with a lot of lost games and frustrations, and now I can show you without the hard part. You can just watch. So, all of that said, I was only thinking about putting my queen somewhere else. This is 01 and this is 02. So this one is a little bit better. I did play this one, and again, coach said that this was not good. I could attack, take, and that's the best line after I activate my queen. Yeah, maybe this pawn is a bit vulnerable with this pawn there. And if I ever take, I only have doubled pawns in the center, so maybe my structure isn't that strong as I thought it was. But I mean, I put my queen here, and now he plays rook to e8. After which I play the best move h3, now stopping his knight, because I still want to improve my position, right? I'm thinking about how do I improve my position. You can either improve your activity or kill your opponent's activity. This move is making a luft, which is nice. Second of all, it's stopping his knight. Third of all, I have another secret ID going on with this move. So if you know anything about the Vienna, you probably should play f4, trying to break open the center, break open your rook, and break open your bishops. So I was looking a lot to how can I place f4. I have to move my knight, but the problem here is that if I move my knight, you you can take, and all of a sudden this is opened. And I cannot, and my queen is attacked, so I cannot move to safety with a check, so I have to take. After which, first of all, you have a fork. Second of all, you have a hanging knight there. Third of all, I do not know why I just gave up a center pawn for nothing. And I don't understand how I'm not completely lost. Like, you just take, oh, because I have threats my own, apparently. Why is this a threat? Yeah, because of a5. I do not understand what this is. How is this losing? You have to sacrifice a knight to open up my attack on you. Oh, if I take, you can take and take, fair enough, but why sacrificing knight? What if you just develop? What is my threat? Attack your bishop, save your bishop, take a free bishop that's hanging now, so probably don't develop there. Develop here. Then queen here attacking this. You have to move. I can take with an attack. So that take. Now I gave up the exchange. Here go attack. And you have to sacrifice your bishop, because otherwise your other bishop is hanging. Yeah, no. No, I did not even slightly consider anything like this. The only way that I saw is if this, then this. My queen is hanging, my knight is hanging, that's it. That is it. So, I thought that... Am I correct? No. Wait. Yeah. Queen here, rook there, HDS. Okay, it was the best move, but now the engine hates me, apparently. So, h3 on move 10, and he plays queen to c8, which I thought was a pretty weird move. But after I played it over with my coach, it's pretty logical. The point being that with the queen here, I can always take, and take. And you need your knight to defend this, but you want to move this knight so that you can develop your bishop. So putting the queen here, X-ray defends this pawn, so you can move your knight there so that you can develop the bishop. That's the point of queen to c7. Here, so after queen to c7, I thought, yeah, so I made this square, so I can do this, so let's do this. And apparently I'm losing if he strikes in the center. So why is that a bad move? Because my active and center controlling knight is now on the edge. So I lost a lot of activity. But I thought it was only temporary, because I could do this, maybe bully this knight so I could come in here. And I thought it was very justified. Apparently, when you have more activity, you should strike open the center with a pawn break, and apparently doing this made my pieces very not active, and he should strike open the center. But I'm still fine. So knight to f8 happens, so he puts his piece also pretty passively to just defend his king, which is quite a depressing way of playing chess, but maybe he wants this and thought if he takes, I can take with the knight, and now I'm looking at a lot of important squares, so fair enough, but probably I wouldn't take it. Maybe if I'm forced to, because what else do I do? Retreating looks dumb as well, so maybe it's quite smart. So I played f4, one of the good moves, just breaking open the dark squares, breaking open the center, breaking open my rook. He takes, which is not the best move, and here I struggled with, do I take with the rook or the bishop? Point being that if my rook is here already, I want to rook lift, right? So I want to do this maneuver. But the problem is I could take this and I'm already the upper move. That's done. The upper move is already done. But not really, because I don't control this, so I have to go via this. I cannot take because this is not actually available. So I took with the bishop, pinning this pawn to the queen so you don't have pawn breaks if needed. And I can still just rook lift like this. So after takes and takes, he plays knight to g6, which is the best move. And after all of that, I thought about what's the threat to take and take, which puts my queen more towards the center, so you don't really have a threat, and I'm willing to give up my bishop for my queen's activity. So I just pushed my plan. Apparently that now my slight advantage is gone. so that wasn't the most accurate of moves apparently. But here he is scared and does one of the best moves, which I didn't really understand at the time. He just put his queen back. So I let his move go here and then back, and the engine completely understands. I do not really understand. This defends the knight more, defends the rook, I guess, but like I would much prefer to develop um instead of moving my queen back defending. So I didn't really understand this, and now I play the move, and apparently I'm lost. I took this and I thought I was completely winning. And after takes, queen takes, this is a pin, so this is hanging. And if you take, you take back, you're losing again. Because take, rook sacrifice, which I saw obviously. Check here, check. Oh no, I'm still dead lost. I'm dead lost here? Actually? Wow, apparently I was losing. That's crazy. So I thought about everything except for here, and you just break in the center. After takes, you have to do this. Now this is blocked, so it's not a free knight. I have to leave. You can rewrap your bishop. I can pressure you, but it actually doesn't matter at all. Wow. I'm completely losing here. I thought I was a genius. I thought takes and you cannot take because this is a pin. I control this a lot. And if you want to break this open, this knight will have to move and this opens up. And if my queen is here because of the pin, your knight is hanging. But you can actually defend the hanging knight by breaking the pin. Which I thought about, but only with moving your king, which is not possible if my queen is here. Wow. I was losing. My opponent didn't see it too, and he played uh, bishop takes on. Wait, so bishop takes h6 I played, and he played rook to f8, defending this. And now I just play bishop to e3, one of the best moves. Apparently I could let this hang and just play here, not scared of takes and takes, because now it does work, because I can sacrifice my bishop. And if you take, I win a piece. Cool. So now it does work, apparently, with a little bit more activity. So all of this didn't work first, but because he wastes one move and I get a little bit more activity, now it does work, which is quite instructive. Like this little bit more pressure is needed and it goes from -2 to +2, which is hilarious. So if your opponent wastes a lot of time pushing pawns and stuff, think about this, like this little bit of activity activates my rook. I mean, and it's quite logical. Like my rook is worth 5 pawns. It's not doing anything here. It's worth 1 point here. I go there, and now it's a worthy rook. Like now it's an actual rook. Now it's doing rook duties. So it goes from a rook that's worth 1 pawn just for being there, I guess, to a rook that's worth 5 points, and now it's from -1 to +2. So that's actually how you have to think about this. You have to think like, what is the worth of my pieces? Like these are 3. Would I actually give him 3? Like, let's say in this position, no, let's say in this position, like, is this bishop worth 3 points? I will give it 4 points, to be honest. Is this knight worth 3 points? Well, he's not really doing much, but he's controlling the center, defending a pawn, defending against the pawn break, so it's not really a offensive piece, but it's quite an important defensive piece, so I will give it 2.5, maybe 3. Is this bishop worth 3 points? Well, it's attacking this, it's attacking this, yeah, I will give that 3 points. Is this knight worth 3 points? No, no, no. So maybe I should consider how to activate this knight as one of the good moves. Apparently, if I put my bishop there, it's worth more than it is right now. And I could consider developing this rook, because now it's worth like 1 point, and here it's worth like probably 3 or something. So those are all the moves to consider just by thinking about the value of my pieces and which piece actually performs his duty. But he was scared, I retreated. Because now I'm up a pawn, and this is the one instructive thing I want to show you. So I told you in the beginning that if you want to be better at tournaments, you need this one thing. What is this one thing? I have all of this activity and everything, and I have so much activity. If I move this, it would be stronger too. And what I did was I just took a pawn. Now I exchanged my pressure for activity. I exchanged my pressure and activity for a tangible advantage, which is a pawn. And usually what I do is just completely sacrifice all of my activity for as much tangible advantage as I can have. In this tournament, I didn't do that. I took a pawn and I just went back, and I didn't go all in on a attack, sacrificing all of my active pieces, and now his pieces are active, my are pretty passive because I traded all of the active ones. And for sure I'm up material, but now all of his counterplay starts. And by the way, if you're asking what this does, it's takes, fork. I mean, I am still up a pawn after here, and my bishop is still strong, my rook is still strong. This bishop is quite strong, this queen isn't really strong, and I could just keep developing and be fine and up a pawn, and I have more activity. So nothing really to worry about. So I went here, and now I still have my activity, and I traded a little bit of my activity and pressure for a little bit of a tangible advantage. And now I still have my activity and still have my pressure, which is fantastic. So after bishop to e3, he played knight to h7, which is again a very passive and very defensive move. I don't even understand what his threat is. Like, I traded a bit of my activity, like I took and I went back. So he had 2 moves to get more activity than me and start a counterattack. But his 2 moves were moving his rook back and moving his knight backwards. And the only thing that this does is that this rook makes sure that this knight can move without it losing a pawn. That's one thing he did. And the other thing is that preparing control over this square so you can trade if you need to. But I'm up a pawn, so I don't care about your defense. I don't care about your mobility if it's backwards and less activating. And I don't care about you asking for trades. So I think this is quite a very defensive resource, but you cannot win this game by defending. Like, if you can show me one trick of Mike Tyson KOing a person without actually punching, go ahead and say that I'm dumb, but he's not trying to punch me, and you are down a pawn. You're down a pawn, you have to KO me. A slow game played fine is completely winning for me. You cannot go for a slow game. You have to be aggressive, you have to attack me, you have to checkmate me. But you will not KO me without even trying to punch me. So this is not a punch. This is not preparing a punch. This is quite a very bad move in my opinion. No disrespect to my opponent, but you cannot simply KO someone without even trying to punch him. So he should really think about punching me. So I just put my rook to g3. I thought this was very nice because first of all, this is a pin, so this is a threat. I'm constantly activating my pieces with threats, which is another huge thing. Maybe there are two very big lessons and some extra information. So I'm activating my rook with a threat again. Which is fantastic. My other consideration was activating my other rook. So now I'm up a pawn, and the only thing I'm doing still is just constantly activate pieces, activate pieces, activate pieces. And his only counter plays with this move, but my pieces are so active, I do not care if you break open the center. So I put my rook there. Now he played bishop here, trying to activate. And we had a discussion here. What was it? Oh yeah, it's after takes. And here, so I took this pawn with this pin. The point of this move, if you didn't notice, this move sets a trap. It kicks my rook. Cannot go here, here, or here. So I can either take the knight or go back to where I came from. And the point is that if I take your knight and you just move your king, my rook is actually trapped. My rook is straight up trapped. Like, this is defended. The pawns take away all of these. I cannot take this pawn. I cannot go here, here, or here. So my rook is trapped. And here I was discussing with a other student and my coach that my student like another student of my coach set to play this so that after takes I didn't have to give up a rook, but I give up my bishop for a pawn, which is a -2 trait, but I prefer this move because after takes and takes it's also a -2 trait, but I reactivated my knight. I didn't give up my strong bishop, I gave up my trapped rook. And also, even after this exchange, my rook is still quite trapped and still quite suffocated. So I still didn't really like the positioning of my rook here, and I mean both are winning, but I prefer this one, and the engine says I'm right. And my coach said the same thing, that giving up the exchange to activate my knight was for sure better. So he took and I took back. The engine wants to take with the pawn. I don't even care. Oh, it's probably to trap his bishop. But I don't care. I just take with the knight and activate my pieces. So, rook g4, what? Rook g4, bishop takes on g4, knight takes bishop g5. So now he's asking for a trade. The engine understands. I do not understand at all. Like, I understand that this move tries to trade pieces, but now you're down a pawn in the exchange, I think. Yeah, I have 2 extra pieces for a rook, which is beneficial for me, because even 2 pieces against a rook and a pawn is beneficial for the 2 pieces. But I have 2 pieces for a rook and I'm up a pawn. So that's very beneficial. And so now the question is, like, what do you do? Do you take allowing his knight to come forward? That looks stupid. Or do you think, like, what is the most trash piece in my arsenal? And do I try to develop it? So what's the most trash piece in my arsenal? So this knight is quite okay. It's not bad. This bishop is probably about to get traded. If I take, his knight improves, so I won't take, but maybe he takes, I don't care. This bishop is fine. Couldn't meet up with the rook to be pretty active, and it's controlling his pawn break. This knight is also okay. It's stopping a pawn break, maybe defending a weak pawn. But this rook is horrible. It's just staring in the R's of a pawn, and that, I mean, what are you doing? That's weird behavior. And I would much prefer him looking at the opponent's pawn instead of his own. So I developed a rook. And I wasn't scared of takes. Like, my queen comes forward a little bit, and I just got a developing move off. So I did not care. He traded. He thought, like, his activity is getting too much, and when attacked, you should trade pieces, and that's what he did. But when down material, you shouldn't trade pieces. So it's a bit confusing. Which one of the two do you do? You should trade if you really think you cannot hold for the short term, and you will help yourself in the short term, but you should know that this messes up you up in the long term, and you will not be able to play out a long game. You have to go for checkmate. You have to play for the throats. It's the only thing you can do after. So he traded bishops, which I mean was quite fine in my opinion. And he played f6 trying to defend this pawn. And again, I thought, what is the most trash piece in my arsenal? My bishop is quite nice, and it's actually restricting this king quite nicely. My queen is in the center. It's pretty fine, I thought. My rook is now actually looking at something. This knight, I don't know what it does, but it's fine. But this knight is now doing absolutely nothing. Like, it's still controlling this, but if you push, I can just take, and relocate my bishop. So this pawn break will not help him, first of all. Second of all, this is not attacked and it's defended quite well. And something I learned on a other on the board tournament against a 2000 player is anytime you move a pawn, look at the Tetris piece behind it. And especially knights should go to those locations. Like, if I could put a knight anywhere in there, it's very nice. And I don't know if you know this, but imagine a knight getting here. What will happen? A fork, you think? No, this is checkmate because of my strong bishop. So a knight here is actually checkmate, and I do not like the positioning of this knight. So let's just go, because it has a straight path to checkmate. So I'm already posing checkmate threats in 2. He tried to find some counterplay down the center now that my knight is not defending this, but I just put a knight here. And here I saw a beautiful line, by the way, which I am quite proud of. So his best move is to go here. And I thought, actually, I can sacrifice my queen. Because if you take, I get check, you have to go here, and I can take this pawn with a discovery checkmate. I mean, you have to sack your queen and sack your rook. So I can actually sack my queen here, which is quite a funny line. You have to take, and here I can sack my queen again, I think. I can take, queen here, check there, take either of my piece, I go back, and this is, I'm just up a lot. I mean, I wanted to go for checkmate, but or whatever. So I saw this queen sacrifice line, which I'm quite proud of, and he didn't play it. He didn't play the pawn move. After I played knight to f4, he played knight to g5, and here I had a pretty straightforward plan. I would just sacrifice this pawn because my threats are too great. Like, you cannot stop me. The best line is here. I just take. You should do whatever this does. I should move backwards. You should sacrifice your knight in 1,000 ways. And if you check, my king can even leave, so I don't know what you are doing. You should just give up a pawn and your rook, and I mean, yeah, for sure. So I didn't really see a defense against this, and I mean, I do not care about this pawn. And after I calmly put my queen on g3, he played rook takes, and I have a maiden 2 with check. My strong bishop takes away this, so you have to go here, and now I can just check you with this, and I completely smothered you. So I hope you learned a lot, because this is a lot of activity, a lot of infiltration, a lot of understanding traits. Like a lot of this was the trade portion, and when to take which trade and when to just develop pieces, how to evaluate the activity of your pieces, how to know which piece to move, when to move pawns, when to, like, by the way, if you look at my pawn position, I played this on the first move, this on the 6th move, this on like the 8th move, and this on like the 12-ish move, and this is move 27. I didn't move a pawn. Oh, and I played this, obviously. I only had five pawn moves in this game. Only like under 20% of this game were pawn moves from me. So I hope that's also like quite instructive for you. Like, I do not move pawns a lot. Move your pieces. Pawns are only worth 1 point, and like, if you can improve your knight from being a 1 point worth knight to a 5 pawn point worth knight, that's +4. If you could move your pawn from being worth half a point to being worth 1.5 a point, that's only up 1. So move your most trash piece, and usually the higher value they are, the more you should improve them. But you do have to understand that you should only move the piece that's not already worth a lot. So you probably heard the phrase that beginners move their pieces, like their queen especially, too much. That's only because the queen is already in a good square, the queen is already active, and then they're moving the queen again, and you should evaluate, is this improving my queen? What do I evaluate my queen, and how much more points would I give to my queen from that move? And if it's not a detrimental value that it gives your queen, you should probably not do it, because if your pieces are quite terrible, moving them will easily give them 2 points more value. And if your queen is already strong, don't move your queen. So that was like a little extra tip for everyone that is still watching, which, by the way, I'm very thankful for. Like, this video is almost 45 minutes. 45 minutes of pure value, I think, but I mean, I'm not the one to decide that. And thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, probably. If you watched until here, I'm assuming you subscribed. So thanks a lot, and I will see you in the next one.